So your message with the hearse is it's Halloween.
Hearse. It's a pickup truck with a frickin'
With a coffin in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just
Hello, staying with the theme. Hello.
A neighbor accused of wishing death and taunting a little girl with a devastating disease. It's the story Fox 2 brought you last week, and it's drawn reaction from people as far away as Australia. Since our story first aired, we've had hundreds of thousands of hits on our website. And so many people have rallied in support of 7-year-old Kathleen Edward, the little girl being tormented by the neighbor. Joining me right now, Kathleen's grandmother, Becky Rose, and her father, Robert Edward. And good evening to both of you. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having us.
We know little Kathleen is suffering from Huntington's disease, the same devastating disease that claimed the life of her mother and her grandfather. Robert, let me begin with you. How is Kathleen doing right now? Is she aware of what's happening to her and the reason for all this attention?
No, she's not aware. We shelter her from the media. She's doing well. She has her bad days and her good days, but she's doing pretty well. She's a little tired. We've had a very busy weekend, and we're going to take tomorrow off and just stay at home, but it's just been a rough day.
Becky, give us some insight as to how this dispute with the Petkoffs started. Not that it justifies Jennifer Petkoff's disturbing behavior, but where did this all start? Where did it begin?
Well, it all started, I thought it was about 2 years, but I guess it's been about 3 years. We had a birthday party for my youngest daughter that's handicapped, and she wanted her kids to come over. She texted my other daughter and asked if they could come over. Well, my other daughter didn't text her back in time, and I went outside, and she was on her porch ranting and raving, screaming. She didn't want her kids coming playing with these effing retards anyway. And it's just totally escalated from there.
So there's been tension for the last 3 years, and then it sort of culminated with Jennifer Petkoff's Facebook pages that she posted with pictures of your late daughter and pictures of Kathleen.
Yes.
And how did this come to your attention?
She posted the picture. She used it as her Facebook profile, and then she put it on my daughter's page. That's how we found it.
Last Friday, we spoke to Jennifer Petkoff, and she said she was sorry for what she had done. Let's listen to her on-camera apology. This happened last Friday.
If I had to all over again, I wouldn't do it. And if to the little girl, I apologize if you've been hurt. There's not much more I can say, and hopefully we can live our lives peacefully from now on.
Okay, let me ask both of you. Do you think that apology was sincere? Or was it just an attempt to deflect all the media attention and the public outrage?
Yeah, it wasn't sincere. It didn't even sound sincere. We know they were getting death threats. We've seen it on your website. We've seen it on Facebook. We've seen it on other websites. And, if I said something like that, I would expect to receive death threats. So I honestly believe they were scared and that they just didn't want the attention anymore.
Becky, what about you?
Well, I've already been in a court case with Jennifer and her husband. And the prosecutor actually suggested that we go to mediation because of how ill my daughter was. And we did go to mediation, and she apologized then. It was just as sincere then as it is now.
What was the issue with that mediation?
The reasoning that we went to court?
Yes.
They had harassment charges, and then he had a charge of indecent exposure.
I understand you have a personal protection order.
Yes, I have a personal protection order against her and her husband.
Okay. All right, and that's still in effect?
Yes, and my granddaughter has one also.
All right, so Jennifer has not made any effort to talk to you since that apology last week. Has she reached out in any way to show some sort of remorse?
The way she reached out is when she was going from her car to her house screaming, "I don't give a F who's dying," after the show.
After the apology, she made that comment?
Yes, from her house to her car, she must have said it 3 or 4 times to her husband as she seen me walking up the street. It was over and over and over, "I don't give a F who's dying."
So what would it take for this to be resolved? Is that even possible at this point?
I mean, I don't want nothing to do with her, and I haven't said nothing to her or talked to her, but I honest to God believe that the only way it's going to be resolved is for one of us to move.
And is that going to happen as far as your family's concerned?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, they got 3 houses on that street. It just when it makes sense for them to move, and why should we have to pack up and move? It's not going to stop. We already have other people on Facebook that are posting the same type of comments, not pictures, but the same type of comments. And you know, we can't accuse anybody, but we have an idea of who we think it is.
Right. Well, we know that Treetown Toys in Ann Arbor has raised several $1,000s and is giving Kathleen a shopping trip this week. What would you like to say to the owner of that store, Hans Masing?
Well, we can't express how grateful we are. This is just amazing. You know, last I checked before we came in today, it was up above $12,000, and from donors all over the world, not just here in the United States. And it just truly shows how big a heart people really have. And not everybody's evil, and not everybody just doesn't care. You know, and he's going all out with red carpet and velvet ropes and lights and cameras and just everything you could possibly imagine he's going all out with.
Well, Kathleen certainly deserves that, and we know there are so many of you out there who would like to continue offering your support to Kathleen, and we want to tell you there's a rally scheduled for Kathleen on October 23rd at Elizabeth Park on Jefferson. It runs from 3 to 8:30, and we are told that as many as 3,000 people are expected. So a wonderful outpouring of love and support for Kathleen and your family. Becky Rose, Robert Edward, we thank you both for being here tonight, and our hearts go out to you and Kathleen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.